Firstly, I want to really thank my friend Lorraine. This night started out with a very friendly conversation between two friends, and look at this beautiful turnout. So thank you, everyone. You know how much I appreciate you. I want to start with a truth that may feel simple, but has the power to change your entire life. Hashem sends us certain moments in life only and only when your soul is ready to receive them. You didn't walk into this room by accident. You are not hearing these words by coincidence. Something inside of you has been whispering, there has to be more. I am ready for more. Every one of us has moments where we feel stuck, confused, unsure, afraid, overwhelmed, and we think that we're waiting for life to somehow change. But the deep secret is this: life is actually waiting for us to change, waiting for us to become the people who can receive the blessings that we keep praying for. When you're ready, this shift will happen. One of the biggest lies that we're ever internalized is that Hashem is somewhere far away from us, that he's somewhere out there watching us struggle day in and day out, and he's hoping that we're going to figure things out. No. Judaism teaches us something completely different. The Shekhinah, Hashem's divine presence, lives inside of every single one of us. Your soul, your neshama, is a literal spark of Hashem's light, which means you are not disconnected, you are not lacking, you are not empty, broken, or behind. You are carrying inside of you the same divine intelligence that keeps your heart beating, your lungs breathing, the sun rising, and the world turning. Think about that for a minute. How cool is that? You are literally wired for greatness. But most of us forget who we are. And when we forget, we feel small. Our lives become small. When in truth, we are carrying infinite potential. That's fact. Life becomes difficult when we identify with the physical world, the bills, the stress, the job, the relationships, and mainly the expectations. We forget the spiritual reality that's shaping all of it. Everything in the physical world starts with something internal. A thought, a belief, a pattern, a fear, a dream, the story that we tell ourselves. So when we try to fix our lives externally without transferring our inner world, we end up exhausted. How many of us feel that way? Because the root is never outside. The root is always inside. Many of us live with anxiety because we believe that we control everything. And we believe that control brings safety. But the truth is, most anxiety comes from trying to hold on to an illusion that was never yours to begin with. We can't control other people. We can't control circumstances. We can't control timing. And the more we try to control the world outside of us, guess what happens? The more anxious and exhausted we become inside of ourselves. Judaism teaches us something very, very powerful. Real control exists in only one place. That is our free will, our choice, our response, and our next right decision. That is where our power lives. The moment we stop trying to force life to move according to our plan and instead begin aligning ourselves with wisdom, with trust, and with conscious actions, inside of us something softens. The anxiety begins to loosen its grip. Not because everything outside is suddenly different, but because we finally stopped fighting reality and started connecting to Hashem, the peace of Hashem that is inside of us. Imagine your lives as mirrors, okay? A mirror reflects, right? So if your life is a mirror, it reflects your focus, not your worth. It reflects your inner feelings, not what's really going on the outside. So if you constantly feel not enough, you will live a life that mirrors that reality. If you secretly believe that relationships are not safe, you will meet people who will absolutely confirm that belief. If you believe that abundance is for others and not for you, you will constantly block the opportunities that actually do belong to you. This is the spiritual architecture of reality. The Baal Shem Tov taught, a person is where his thoughts are, meaning your thoughts and your inner state precede what actually happens to you. Now imagine, if you want your life to change, you don't start with your circumstances, you start with your consciousness. We've all heard the expression, seeing is believing. But Judaism teaches us something much, much deeper. Believing is seeing. I love this concept. Most people think that they need to have proof first. Once I see a change, I will believe it. Once life improves, then I will trust. But the mind does something fascinating to us. It searches for evidence to support what you're actually believing already. So if deep inside you believe that I'm stuck, I'm not enough, this is just who I am, I cannot change, then your mind will continue finding experiences that will reinforce those beliefs. But the moment that something inside of you shifts, even slightly, when you begin believing maybe healing is possible, maybe I can grow, maybe my life can become different, suddenly your perspective expands. New opportunities become visible, new solutions appear, new possibilities enter your awareness, not because they were never there before, but because your consciousness is finally becoming available to see them. Belief does not ignore reality. Belief actually expands reality. Now comes the big question. If focus and belief are so powerful, why does change sometimes take so long, right? Why can we want something so deeply, but yet see no movement at all? Ready for the answer, ladies? Your conscious desire must match your subconscious belief. If you consciously want abundance, but subconsciously believe that you're unworthy, your subconscious wins. I see this all the time with my work with women. Some women tell me, I want a relationship so badly, but underneath they're carrying fear, self-doubt, or a belief that perhaps she's not enough, and she doesn't even realize it. But once we gently uncover that, everything starts to shift. If you consciously want love, but subconsciously fear being hurt, your subconscious wins. If you consciously want success, but subconsciously feel small, your subconscious wins. Hashem will never ever send you something that your inner world is not ready to receive. That's not punishment, ladies. That's actually divine protection. Faith has always required us to see beyond what is immediately visible to us. Abraham Avinu was asked to believe in a future that he could not see. Bnei Israel walked into the sea before it split. Again and again, Judaism teaches us certainty does not come first. Trust comes first. Sometimes the deepest spiritual work is learning to hold on a vision for your life before the physical proof actually appears to you. Not denying reality, not pretending that pain doesn't exist, but refusing to believe that your current circumstances is the final chapter of your story. Because the moment a person reconnects to hope, guess what happens? When you reconnect to hope, to possibility, to emunah, you stop living from fear. And when you stop living from fear, you start living from your soul. There's a spiritual sacred window of time. That's the moment before you fall asleep. In Judaism, we all say the Shema before going to bed. Do you know why that is? Because this is the time when your soul ascends and your subconscious is most open. Whatever emotions you fall asleep with become the code that you wake up with the next day. So if you fall asleep anxious, you plant the seed of anxiety. If you fall asleep grateful, you plant the seed of blessings. If you fall asleep imagining your life as aligned, abundant, peaceful, connected, you are directing your inner world towards that reality. This is also why imagination matters so much spiritually. Not imagination as a fantasy, not escaping reality, but imagination as a vision. Hashem gave every human being the ability to internally picture a higher version of themselves before they fully become it. Before a person changes their life, they first have to emotionally and spiritually allow themselves to imagine that that change is possible. Many people get stuck because they never allow themselves to envision anything beyond their current pain. They get so stuck in it, can't even envision anything past it. But growth begins the moment that a person can say, maybe, just maybe there's another way. Maybe I can heal. Maybe my future does not have to look like my past. That moment, that opening, ladies, is where transformation begins. This is where real spiritual work happens. Not in the effort, not in the struggle, but in the conscious inner alignment. Many times we think something is wrong when life gets difficult. If we shift that perspective and that perception a little bit, right? To challenges are not punishments, but rather challenges are invitations. They are invitations for us to grow, to rise, to expand, to step into the next version of ourselves. Every challenge that you've ever faced has shaped you. Please think about what I'm saying. Every challenge that you have faced has shaped you. It's carved depth into you. It helped you build compassion, to build wisdom, to build resilience. Hashem doesn't ask you to be perfect. He asks you to be becoming. Every day, our job is simply to become a little bit more aligned with our authentic self. There is a spiritual law. If you want something, you must become the vessel that can hold it. If you want love, become loving. If you want abundance, become self-respecting, become generous. If you want healing, become compassionate. This is aligning your frequency with your blessings. You have this power, ladies. There are moments in every spiritual journey that feel like you're breaking. You feel lost. You feel confused. You don't know where you are anymore, and you don't know where you're going. This is a cocoon. Imagine, the caterpillar must dissolve completely before it becomes a butterfly. Its old identity literally falls completely apart. It isn't dying, right? It's transforming. So if life feels messy, uncertain, or overwhelming, you are not failing, you are becoming. Most people live their lives in a state of no. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. We say no so convincingly, except of course when it comes to dessert, and then yes, we're all spiritually open and sure, bring it on, right? So no, I'm not ready. No, I'm not capable. No, that's not for me. Every no closes a spiritual door, but yes opens worlds. At your core, beneath all the fear, beneath all the noise, beneath all of the conditioning, you are a neshama, a spark of Hashem. Whole, valuable, deeply, deeply purposeful. You don't have to become enough. You already are enough. Your work is simply self-remembrance. In Judaism, we carry spiritual power. The very first way we identify is through the words, I am. And we often don't realize how deeply those words shape the way that we experience life. When someone constantly says, I am broken, I am stuck, I am anxious, I am not enough, their mind, their emotions, their nervous system all begin aligning with that identity. But your neshama was never created to live inside limitations. Imagine if we become more conscious with the language that we attach ourselves to. Instead of I am hopeless, what if we say I am growing? Instead of I am lost, what if we say I am finding my way to Hashem? Instead of I am weak, what if we remembered I am carrying the divine spark of Hashem inside of me? They become the lens through which you experience life. And healing often begins the moment that we stop speaking of ourselves from fear and start speaking to ourselves from truth. So tonight, I want to leave you with one simple, life-changing truth. Before we close, I want to take a second, and I want you all to ask yourselves a question. Where in my life am I ready to stop staying the same? If you're sitting here feeling something in your heart, that pull, that discomfort, that quiet knowing, don't ignore it. That's not random. That's your neshama asking for growth. For those of you who know that this is your next step, you don't have to figure this out alone. This is the work that I do. I help women reconnect to themselves, to heal what is underneath, to step into who they are meant to be, and I would be honored to work with you. So now it's time for you all to know that what Hashem already knows, that you are perfect exactly as you are. Say yes, step in, trust the process, and walk with Hashem, and watch how your world will transform. Thank you for being with me tonight, and I hope that you all walk away after Next beautiful speakers come up, feeling more enlightened, feeling more alive, and feeling more aligned with your authentic selves.